Hey guys, welcome once again to my YouTube channel. This is Mr. Makonde, and today we're gonna talk about something very important. And I'm pretty sure that you guys gonna learn. And today we have another guest, someone that will share ideas, someone that will make us learn more about specific topic. So let me introduce you. Oh, let him introduce himself. We have here Stephen, and Stephen, welcome. Thanks very
Thank you,
much
man.
to be
Thank you.
here.
Yeah, thank you. So I'm Steven. Right now I'm an entrepreneur, a
Mm,
dad, and a husband. So
gotcha.
I'm really pushing to just be great and show other greatness. So thanks for having me as well here, man.
Yeah,
Thank you.
that's cool. That's cool.
Yeah,
And
thank you,
Stephen,
man.
I mean, what you doing for living?
So by trade, I'm a software engineer.
Mm-hmm.
So all day I'm coding and things of that
Okay.
sort. But recently I've been really venturing into entrepreneurship and learning how to grow businesses and scale them at large. So yeah.
And
Mhm.
why did you decide to start like being entrepreneur?
So what kind of pushed me is when it comes to having a child, I think it's equivalent to entrepreneurship because, when you have a kid, you can't give up or
Mm-hmm.
have days where you're like, I don't really feel like taking care of my son.
Mm-hmm.
Or, there's days where you might not even want to wake up. You might still be tired. And, with a child, you have to wake up and show up every day and be your best self, even when you're tired. So to me, that equates to entrepreneurship
Mm-hmm.
because it's like I can't give up one day because I have to feed my son or I have to provide for my family. So it's kind of a keep going. It just equates to having a kid. So that's really what drove me in entrepreneurship.
That's good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think it's a lot of work. I don't know how do you handle that? Like you have a job and
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
to take care of your
Mhm.
business. So how do you have time for that?
So when it comes to balancing everything, it's really, I'll say God, man. I'll say God is a big one when it comes to balancing because I can't really balance it all myself.
Mm.
It comes from understanding that, you can't get everything done at once as well. And you kind of have to give yourself grace when trying to balance all of these things. And sometimes it's hard, man. I won't lie to you.
Mhm.
It's not the easiest thing, but over time and repetitive tasks, you succeed at the end of the day. Yeah.
And what is like the most hardest thing you ever passed through, like being an entrepreneur?
Yeah, I'll say rejection, man.
Oh.
So I'll say it's funny because so recently I actually have a business where I'm doing vending machines and I'm trying to get vending machines into different establishments. And what I do is, well, first, obviously I pray in the morning, then I go work out, and then I'll start to do these things called drops, whereas I go to businesses and I talk to the owners. And it's hard because you'll face rejection a lot within entrepreneurship. A lot of people will be like, "No, we're busy," or "No, we don't want that here," or things of that sort. And waking up every day, getting rejected, and still showing up looking for success is probably one of the hardest things with entrepreneurship.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and you're right. And because and I don't want to bad mouth this generation because
Yeah.
I'm part of that. But
Yep.
I've seen that a lot of people they don't know how to handle like rejection.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
hmm
how can you like every day wake up and know that most of time people will reject your offer? How can
Yeah.
you like keep on?
Okay. Yeah. I'll say. I think that with the territory, it kind of comes with that territory. Like sometimes I want to quit
Mm,
and give up. Like literally I just started my vending machine a week ago. Like
mhm,
vending machine business. I haven't bought an actual product yet. But my whole plan was to get someone to get a contract with me before I buy it to actually validate me buying a vending machine. So when I'm going out, I'm really pitching something that doesn't even exist yet.
mhm.
It with hopes that somebody will buy into the existence of it.
Okay.
So really, I really just to keep me going, man, I pray and I ask God to give me the strength, man, because at the end of the day, sometimes you want to give up, but you know that you can't because you have responsibilities and shoes to fill. So, and another thing with entrepreneurship is I want to show my son that,
Mhm.
you know, you can make it in this world without having to slave or work hard at a 9 to 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
So
And
yeah.
I mean, a lot of people, and you know what? A lot of people they complain about the job, and
Yeah.
it's good to see that you don't complain. You're looking
Yeah.
for solution.
Yeah, exactly.
And I've seen a lot of people they just complain.
Yep.
I don't want to work 9 to 5. So if you quit your job, you will not have anything
Exactly.
to sustain
Yeah.
your family.
Yep.
So how like what made you to start having this mindset like looking for solution instead of complaining?
Yeah. So there's a few things. So I think as a kid, um, one time I'll give you an example story. So one time I had some headphones. Well, they weren't really headphones. They were like noise canceling earmuffs. So they weren't even headphones at the time. And I really needed some headphones at that time. I was a kid and my dad, he was always like, man, we didn't have enough money to go buy headphones like Beats or whatever at the time. So I had these noise canceling earmuffs and I literally took some old headphones that didn't work correctly and I took the ear holes out of them and put them in the earmuffs. So then I created my own headphones. So like from that point on, I've always been trying to figure out how to solve my own solutions. And then I know that if I can solve a solution for me, then there's got to be someone that I can solve a solution for as well.
That's a great mindset, and I think like as a man, you have to be intentional building this kind
Yeah.
of mindset.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
like I want to go to family and God later, but
Okay.
I have a question. You know, when I got here in USA, there is a word
Yeah.
I got surprised about the meaning.
Okay.
Nigga.
Nigga. Nigga. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead. Yeah.
I don't want to be disrespectful
No,
because in
you
my
good.
country it's different.
Yeah.
In my country, like when we call someone nigga, it's more like you are the bad boy, you know, like you are a bad boy. It's not like nigga about slavery.
Yeah.
But when I got here, it was different.
It's like homie or like friend.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
hey, my
That's my
nigga.
nigga. Yeah.
like you look like a nigga.
Yeah,
You look like
yeah,
a bad boy.
yeah.
So,
Okay.
but when I got here, dude, I started seeing like people they get mad, angry when someone who is not black
Okay.
call them nigga.
Okay.
So tell me, like, first of all, first of all, what's the meaning of nigga?
Ooh, that's a good one. Nigga, that's a good question. What's the meaning of nigga to me? I will say I agree that now it is like, not to me, but in the world, it is a term of sometimes endearment, sometimes to people, it can mean nothing. I think that's why when other races use it, it doesn't really have context. They're kind of just using it like versus us. I will say in slavery times, it was a derogatory term to bring us down or hold us down. But I feel like we turned it into a way to use it as like more empowerment for us. But
Okay.
I think when it comes to like, if my wife was to be like, you're my nigga or something like that's my nigga, I do get upset about it because I feel like I'm a man. I'm more than just like a nigga. I'm a black man, and nothing's wrong with nigga, but I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like nigga it definitely grew over the years in different ways and it evolved to like how people view it and the way that people use it and stuff. So
Yeah, because like I know like there's a different meaning for black Americans.
yeah.
You know? Because sometimes when I got here, they thought like I'm black, I know that. I was like, I don't know. Because
Yeah.
I have some like white friends, Latinos, and I remember one day they asked me, hey, can I use the N-word?
Wow. Man.
They were kidding.
Yeah.
I was like, the N-word? N-word? What do you mean like N-word? No, like the N-word. Dude, I don't know what you
So is that something that you really only experienced in
Here.
America?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like in my country, it's like normal. Like a normal word.
Like they just say it, like it's normal.
We just say, and it's not related to something bad. But here, it's different when I figure out about that.
Yeah.
And
I can see that.
sometime in the internet, I saw videos when someone who is not black
Yeah.
called someone who is black nigga. Dude, they get the attitude.
I'll say
Yeah.
what I'll say is I feel like I'm not a fan of other races saying nigga.
Okay.
The only reason I say that is because they, especially I'll say our white counterparts, if they were to say nigga, I would be upset.
Okay.
The only reason saying that is because of what the word means to black people and then how their ancestors or their people treated us with that word. It's kind of, I feel like it just don't sit right with me, man. Like if a white person was like, you know, what's up, my nigga? I'm like, nah, bro, nah, we're not. You know, even if they call you like, you know, boy or something, that's, to me, that's the same as nigga. Like you calling me a boy, like that's, I got a whole son, bro. You know, and like nigga, I just feel like I call my homeboys niggas. I'll be like, what's up, my nigga? You know, what's up, bro? Like, but like, that's just because that's our language. But like when a white man comes and says, you know, hey, what's up, my niggas? It's a different, yeah.
Yes,
I don't really rock with that, yeah.
I mean, it's normal, and I think it's the cultural. And when I got
Yeah.
here, I started respecting, because in the beginning, I was like, wait, why are they getting mad? It's just a
Yeah,
word.
yeah.
But along the time, I was like, I mean, I have to respect the cultures.
Yeah.
This is how they grow up. And the second one, dude, I have a question for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Do black Americans don't like African, or African don't like black Americans?
I think, okay. I mean, it's a good one. It's a good one.
Yeah.
So I think Africans don't like African Americans.
Why?
The reason I say that is because I feel like we right now I feel like there's a lot of African people in America. Obviously, Afrobeats are really popular.
Yeah.
People are very into Afro culture in America now. I think previously, I don't know. There's a few theories I got. So like in my family, I'm from Trinidad. So like right now, the U.S. is totally different than it is in Trinidad. Like it's night and day. Like obviously you would know, like my grandma's house, like Trinidad, she doesn't have like a roof.
What?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy in Trinidad. Trinidad's different. Like she has a roof, but it's like a tin foil roof. It's not like a brick and mortar or like a real roof. And the thing is, like my cousins in Trinidad, they sometimes view us as better than, because my family, my parents left when they were like 30 and moved to America. So now they're like, y'all got all this money. And that's where I think some of the hate could come from.
Okay.
Because it's like, let's say you're African, like you're here.
Yeah.
Some people could be like, you know, hey, you know, you're a big baller, you're in the States now. Like it's, and that's where I feel like the hate could come from, because they might think that you're well off, which I guess in America it is easier to become whatever you want to become.
Yeah.
You're not as oppressed.
Yeah.
But I think people from other countries don't understand that we still face struggles of our own.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So it's not like, yeah, we moved here and it's just like now you're famous. Now you're hanging out with Chris Brown. Like, you know, you're hanging out with, you know, whoever. Yeah. It's more, there's different struggles that black people have to face here than if they were in Africa, which it's struggles there too that you have to face.
Yeah.
But exactly, it's just, I feel like there might be a little more freedom, but there's still struggles in that freedom too as well.
Gotcha.
If you get what I'm saying.
I got you. Because like this something like I've been wonder, even a job. I remember one day it was a black American.
Okay.
He came in and greet everyone because we don't speak so much. So I was like, he's not greeting me, he's greeting his friend.
Okay.
And he looked at me, was like, dude, I just greet you and you didn't say anything. That's why I know that African doesn't like black American.
Oh man.
I was like,
this was an African guy?
No, he was a black American.
Oh.
This is from here. And
so you think that he didn't like you?
Yeah, no, he told that that's why I know like African doesn't like black American. It was like, I don't like him.
Oh.
Because I'm African, he's like black American.
Okay, so do you think that that's something that you thought, or do you think that's the reality?
No, it told that
Oh,
to
he
me.
told you.
Yeah, it
He
was
said, "I don't
kidding.
like you."
No, it was like, oh, that's why, like, when he greet me, I mean, he greet everyone,
Oh,
but
accept you.
he greet everyone like me too. But I was
Oh,
like, we don't talk that often, so I think he doesn't care about me.
okay.
So I was like on my phone, and then he looked at me. He was like, dude, I just greet everyone. He
Oh, yeah.
didn't respond and answer.
Mm,
Yeah, he told. That's why I know that African doesn't like Black American.
wow.
I was like, I'm good with him.
Okay.
We're friends,
Yeah.
and we
So
play.
why do you think that though? What's your reason behind why you think that Africans don't like African Americans?
I mean, I never thought about that since I got here.
Okay.
Because in my point of view, I think like Black American doesn't like Africans.
So wait, would you consider yourself like an African American now?
I mean,
Because you're here. So yeah, would you still consider yourself an African or an African American?
I mean, I I want to consider myself like as an African.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool. Dope. Yeah.
yeah. It's not like because I'm like I don't want to consider myself like as an African. I want to like to keep my culture.
Okay.
I want to see myself as an African. You know why? Dude, I think years ago I used to be ashamed to be Black and African
in America or just
in
in
my
Africa?
country, Africa. I was like, why?
Okay,
why I was born Black and why I was born African?
Did
It's,
Why? Why though? Why'd you?
you know, like movies,
Yeah.
like news.
I
would
feel
say
like yeah.
if you're not on the movies and sometime in the news, they will try to make you like as an African that you will not born like to succeed. And I was like, damn, dude. I was born African, and in my country
Yeah.
we have like mix, like people light skin,
Okay.
and sometimes at school they will treat better than someone who's
So the light skinned people will get treated better.
yeah, because like,
Wow.
dude, it's a reality in my country.
Yeah.
It's a reality because in my country sometimes like the women's they say the name that we call is mulatto. Someone is mixed like white and black mulatto.
I was mulatto.
So they want to date with a
Wow.
mulatto, and as a child to make the child get like light skin, not having dark skin.
Oh dang!
Yeah, I
In
mean,
Africa?
yeah. I mean, I don't want to say Africa in general, but I want to be specific in my country.
Okay. Okay.
So if I say Africa in general, it can be a
it
difference.
could be different. Yeah.
But in my country, even at school, I'm not like bad mouth, but it's something like still exists over there.
Wow. Are there? So being in Africa, do you feel like there were a lot of white people in Africa? Or like, how does that? Yeah. How was that?
I think it depends of what country in Africa.
Okay.
Because in my like my hometown, like in my city, there are more black peoples, like more black peoples. You will see
Okay.
white people that not that much. You will see more like mix,
Okay.
like light skin.
Yeah.
So light skin they are mixed. You will
Wow.
see more of that. And then, dude,
I'm learning, man. I've been to Africa one time and I was a kid. I went to Nigeria, but like,
yeah.
wow. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So that's what I was like, damn, I would like to be born like, mulatto,
Yeah, bro.
like light skin. And like, along the time, I was like, I have to accept who I am.
Yeah, bro.
Like, he didn't choose to be a mulatto. It just happened, came in
Yeah.
this world. The same
Yeah.
way I didn't choose to be, brown skin. I will not say black. It's brown.
Yeah. I get you.
Brown
Yeah,
skin.
definitely.
So I have to be proud.
Yeah.
And I mean, if someone doesn't like me because my skin color, I just have to accept it's the reality.
Yeah.
I cannot change that.
Yeah.
But I can do myself and have my result and take care of the people I love. Yeah, I used to have this mentality, like it was so strong. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of African or like,
But I feel like African now,
yeah,
I think it's popular, bro. I'll
Yeah,
say
yeah.
from when I was a kid to now, it's definitely got popular, bro.
yeah,
like
it's different.
it's like, especially in America, I'm not sure about like in Africa, but in America, it definitely, when we were kids, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, say
I
it.
mean, okay, so
Be
like,
honest, don't
okay,
worry.
all right. So you know, when we were kids, they used to say African booty scratcher.
African Buddhist script. What is
You
that?
probably didn't hear that.
I never. African what? I never heard about that.
No, bro.
Oh my god! Hey,
When we was kids though,
yeah,
this
yeah.
is when I was like maybe like 10 years old. I'm pretty sure if y'all watching this podcast, they've heard that before
Yeah.
in America. But now it's more African is becoming like a clique
Okay.
to where it's like they have their own parties, they have their own, and it's like if you're not African, you really can't even come hang out with us because we're doing this and that, and nothing's wrong with that. I think I think it's dope. Like I actually have a lot of African friends. I feel like I told you in America, I feel like it's becoming more. It's becoming more prevalent that like African culture is definitely bigger, way bigger than it was when I was a kid in America.
I mean, yeah, I think you're right because we are having we have seen a lot of African people getting success and be more viewed to the world, internet.
Yep.
Because usually, like I think years ago, when someone go to Africa, they will come and just talk about the bad part about Africa.
Yeah. They would show like the kids.
Yeah,
like, bro,
and that's something like when it's in the internet, they just saw the bad parts.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is Africa, but not, this isn't just the other part about Africa. And like I remember when I got to, someone asked me, "Where are you from?" I was like, "Africa." It was like, so how did you get here?
How did you get? Yeah, I will say that. That's another thing about American people. I feel like and I only say we because I was born here, but my family's not from here. Okay. So I can resonate with you from my family being from other countries. But I was born here, so I understand how American people think. And they're really not, like, I'm going to be honest with you. If they talk to my dad, everybody used to say I was African.
Oh.
Because my dad, his accent is super thick. But obviously, you would know he's not African.
Yeah, I would.
Exactly. You would be like, yeah, he's not African. Yeah, he sounds Caribbean.
Okay.
But like to an American person, they're not really...
Okay.
They're not really tapped in where they're like, okay, this person is from this. Like, they still think that, they still think African people are like, bro, it's not,
I mean, that's...
It sucks. But then again, that's really, to me, is really only white people that think like that. But like, well, I would say black people now are more, I told you, African now is cool, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I told you, it's kind of like a clique. Like, it's like people, like, when I talk to my friends, they be like, man, we're going to this Afro thing tonight. Let's go.
Oh.
Like, and it's more becoming cool versus when we were kids. It was like, oh, no, let's go make fun of bro. But not saying it, but this is just me being real. Like, when we were kids, that's what it was when we were kids. But now I think it's just becoming like, I mean, have you been to an Afrobeat party out here?
No, never.
Man.
I will not be like that interested because, like, I'm from Africa.
Well, yeah, you're from Africa, so it'd probably be like, I've been to a real Afrobeat. Yeah. I get. I'll just say it definitely
is different.
It's in America. I think that Afrobeat, and I just keep saying Afrobeats because that's what kind of to me introduced it to America. Is like the music. That's how it kind of came in, where they're like, oh. African people can dress. Like now they like we can see they dress. Now it's like they make good music, and now even like I mean, let's say for instance, Burna Boy.
Okay, yeah.
Like you see, he wears chains. Like it's like now they're starting to see like like he's just a normal he's a normal person. Yeah. But before, I think they were definitely looking at Africa as like I was
like
but I'm pretty sure in Africa at one point they looked at America as the way out.
Yeah, I mean,
or maybe not, because that's how in Trinidad, America means you made it. It's kind of like you went to college, you grew up with like all your friends, but then you went to college. Yeah. But it's like in like from another country, America. But I feel like now it's going away from that, where people are starting to understand America isn't that good either, though.
I mean, as I always say, I'm not here to badmouth the country, because they will say that immigrant is badmouth the country.
I'll badmouth the country. Like.
So But I mean, it's the reality because what
Yeah.
they show in the show in the movie is different. When you
Yeah.
come here,
Yeah.
you see, homeless people.
Yeah.
You will see people complaining about his job. I remember when I
Yeah.
got here, I went to fast food. It was like, uh, uh, um, it was a black American.
Okay.
It was a woman. And it was like, hey, he asked me, hey, where are you from? I was like, I'm from Africa. So how long have you been here? I told her it like a year. He told me, welcome to the nightmare. I was like, what the fuck?
Nah, I can see that, bro. Yeah.
I was like, what?
It's
What
a
the hell?
circus, man. It's a circus. I would say, bro.
What you mean welcome
Yeah.
to a nightmare? I know, like, you people do think that you will come here, you will get success, but the reality is different. I was like, what the hell?
But you can still do it. I think that makes it even better for you because now, I mean, you have something to prove to your people back home.
Yeah.
Cause like you have a lot of shoes to fill. Like I know you said like your brother's out here too, right? Yeah. So it's like y'all really, to be here, y'all really have a lot of like weight on your shoulders because y'all have to show like I didn't just come here for nothing.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
right.
for sure.
That's why I'm making this podcast. And one of the things that I've been interested is about the black accent.
Black accent. Okay,
Dude.
like slang words and
No,
stuff?
no.
Okay.
The accent, how can I say? When I was in Africa in my country, the movies, how can I say? If someone call me and if someone who is Latino white speak, I will know this is like a white or Latino. But if a black man speak, I will know this is black.
Okay.
This accent, I know where is that from? Because I've asked someone like, so what you call it? Because it's so different and it's good.
Yeah.
But my question is like, I don't know how can I ask you, but
Go ahead, bro. You good.
like the way that you guys speak is different compared to everyone.
Okay, give me an example. Like
It's different. I cannot make that accent, but I cannot even make the accent.
nah, you good. So
I cannot even the accent. But like let's say you have like black friends, and their accent is way different compared to someone who is white or is Latino. I
so
know.
you're saying like the way that we speak?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, because
I don't
I
know.
say stuff like, what's good? Like, what's up, bro? Like,
Yeah,
what's up, fam? Yeah,
I don't know.
I think that goes into, I think that, so for one, white people, I mean, they don't really have culture.
Okay.
So like, think about it. What did white people make? Not saying anything against white people, but white people, I mean, I think they made hamburgers.
Okay.
I mean, and then outside of that, I mean, what else did you like? You know what I'm
Just,
saying? What dances have they made? So it's like the conversation already is gonna be bland in general. But I feel like with black people, we've been through oppression.
Okay, yeah.
We create music, we clothing. We're like the promoters behind a lot of things. We created. I mean, there's so much that we've done. I feel like we've had to create our own language to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And I think, because there's a thing of, like code switching, about code switching? Code, like code and then switch, like a switch.
Code switching.
Code switching. So code switching is, let's say right now we're talking, I'm like, what's up, my nigga? Like, what's good? But then we go around a white person and I'm totally different.
Oh, okay. That's what
code switching,
that's what I want to ask you.
Yeah, okay.
Because I know there are some, like when they go to their friends, they speak a different way.
Yeah.
And when they go to someone who's not black, they speak like less slang, more light.
So I'll say this, man. In America, this is gonna probably be the worst take. But I'll say it.
Yeah.
I'll say in America, I definitely believe to be successful, you have to code switch. I know that sounds crazy, but the reason there's a reason behind that. Because right now, if I was to hang out with my homeboys, I'm probably cussing 80% of the time.
Okay.
Like I'm really a sailor.
Okay.
Like when
Yeah.
but when I'm around like, let's say 5 older white men
Mm-hmm.
and we're playing golf.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes if you're making, I know this sounds crazy, but if you're making more money than the people that you're around, like the white people that you're around,
Mm-hmm.
then you could be yourself.
Okay.
Because at that point,
Mm-hmm.
they're really trying to code switch for you. Like they're trying to please you and be
Okay.
around you. But if you're the one that's trying to soak up information from white people or really network and get somewhere, you're going to have to like, well, not you, but just in general, people are going to have to learn how to be able to be in those spaces and have confidence in those rooms. And I'm not saying, don't be yourself. I'm saying be the version of yourself that's most professional, which is you
Okay.
have to code switch. Because when I'm around my friends, I'm not professional at all.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, I don't even know what I'll talk about half the time when I'm with my friends. I'll just be talking, we're just laughing, having a good time. But I feel like when you're around white people or other races, you really have to learn how to, just switch
fit.
that code and be able to
Okay.
be proper and professional in those instances. Yeah.
That's
And that's what I'll say. Black people, that's what we're good at. We're good at adapting and
okay.
to different scenarios and stuff, especially in America, because see, that's why I asked you if there was a lot of white people in Africa, because here I feel like that's what makes it a little bit hard in our way of living, is because now we're not just going against our people, we're going against our oppressors too. And it's like we're in their world though. So now we have to learn how to accommodate, which it sucks, but we got to learn how to be ourselves in their world and still succeed, because we have families and stuff that we got to take care of. So yeah.
And and do you think the slavery? I've heard sometimes a lot of people they say, I mean, my ancestor was a slave.
Yeah.
That's why I am like this. Do you think like this slavery mentality? Because I know some people they talk about slavery, and the place I've heard a lot about slavery is here, mainly to black people. In my country, we don't talk too much about that. It was like, dude, we are suffering too much. Why we talk about slavery?
No, I can see that.
There's no
Okay.
reason for that.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Like, until what point it's good to remember that your ancestors they were slave, and they didn't have the right to do what they should do, and until what point you can use that as a motivation to get better and to be a better black man?
I think that is our motivation as black people.
Okay.
But I feel like the thing that gets us is we don't have resources. So like for instance, me and my wife were driving down the street. We're driving down this really nice neighborhood, and we see all these big houses. And I'm like, how are people able to afford these houses? Of course, we're driving. People are walking. I mean, you don't see no black people, bro.
Okay.
Like a nice neighborhood though, beautiful. It's beautiful, bro. It's like these houses are like $1 million houses. And sometimes me and my wife will just drive, and I told you we're seeing white people walk, and nothing's wrong with that. But I'm just like, how? So I asked ChatGPT. I was like, how are these people, not just white people, how are people able to afford these houses while black people, it's so hard for us to even get a house in general?
Yeah.
It's because white people are setting them, like their families up for success from the beginning.
Okay.
So there's two theories that I got. I think some white people have inherited things since slavery.
Yeah.
So let's say your family owned like a plantation. That plantation probably still there. Y'all probably still own it. So now it's families and families. Now we're 100 years later, but the plantation's still there, but the white family still owns it. So then they were connected with other plantations. Now they're all connected to where now for us to get, because the thing is they own a lot of what's going on. They own a lot of it. I'm not saying they created it. They just own it. They know how to dictate and kind of capitalize off of things. But that's more what I'm saying. I just feel like when it comes to like, I feel like like slavery in America, I think that's our biggest factor. But it does sound crazy because in Africa, y'all not worried about it. But
Yeah.
then in America, that's like, but maybe that could be like a fake thing too. Maybe it could be
Mm.
fake on us because it's like we're creating something that doesn't even really need to be like isn't even real. But I think it's real, but
I mean, you
maybe
see.
I think if like, cause I'm gonna be honest,
Mhm.
y'all were the original people that got enslaved. Like we're here really, well, African Americans are here because they were snatched from
Yeah.
Africa,
Mm.
obviously. So do you think that since you guys are like, we're over that kind of, we're moving forward, do you think that African American, or
Mm.
like African Americans should kind of take that same approach?
You know, what I've been trying to do now, first of all, is to learn with each culture,
Okay.
because there are some people, they will say, oh, African, I don't have time to learn with
Mm.
their culture.
Mhm.
I'm learning with Black American culture, white culture, Latino culture, and
Yeah.
even my own culture.
Mm.
I want to take the best part. So, what's the best part I can take here in the plan in my life? I don't
Mm.
think too much about slavery. I know my ancestors, they were
Mhm.
slave. I have a slaver's blood in my veins. I
Yeah.
know that.
Yeah.
But if I have the opportunity to come here and my ancestors didn't have that opportunity,
Mhm.
so I will try to do my best to get the success that they could not
That they
get.
couldn't get. Yeah.
Yeah, because I know, like, my things, they were slave. It's a reality. But
Mhm.
what can I do to change that? I
Yeah.
cannot change the past,
Yeah.
but what I can change the future. So
Mm.
I want to have a result that my own son will look at me, will say, I don't have the blood of a slave. I have
Mm.
a blood of a rich black man.
Yeah. I can see
Because
that. That's
yeah,
good.
so
Yeah.
I know it's hard because here I know it's hard because sometimes you will look someone who is white getting more success
Mhm.
than you, and sometimes you have more qualification, but because you have brown skin, not black skin, brown skin, but you will get behind,
Yeah.
and it's yeah, it's frustrating. But the point is about the reality.
Yeah.
The ideal world, there is no racism.
Mhm.
Everyone accept their skin color. Everyone help each other.
Yeah.
This is the ideal world, the world that God want to create.
Yeah.
But the world that we are now, it's the real world,
Yeah.
and this is something that we have to accept.
Mhm.
So, what I can say as an African, I don't think so much. I think I never thought about slavery. Never complain about
You
that.
never. Oh, you never complained, but you thought about it
I
though.
thought, yeah,
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was
let
like,
me
yeah.
correct.
I
I
can see
never
that.
complained
Yeah.
about that. I never be like, oh no, my sister was slave, and
Mhm.
the white people they have to pay us back. I was
Yeah.
like,
Nah. Nah.
I
Yeah.
mean, I don't have time to think about that.
Yeah. You're more focused on success and
Yeah, I'm a
building.
first to
Yeah.
success.
Yeah.
Okay, because I know there are some people they will say, ah, he's white. Okay, I will not learn from him. But
Mm.
sometimes here the skills that you have to get, you have
Mhm.
to be intentional.
Yeah. I
Because
agree.
Steven, if you have the skills I have to get in order to get the success I'm looking for,
Mhm.
even if I don't like you,
You gotta.
I will be humble. I will learn from you as
Yeah.
much as I can, and
Mhm.
then when I get what I want, I will go.
Bro, say that
Yeah,
about. No,
I
I
will
feel that. I feel it.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
I
mean,
feel it. Yeah.
this is the mentality that you have to have.
Yeah.
Yeah, and because as a black person now, I don't want to talk about the culture. You can be African, Black American. It doesn't matter what country you are.
Mhm.
If you are a black man, a black person, you have to know that world is not fair. People can judge you because of your skin color. That's the world. There is nothing you can change, but one thing you can do. People don't listen to black person who doesn't have results. They will
Yeah.
not listen to you. You're like a homeless. Have you ever stopped to listen to a homeless? Never.
Yeah.
But if you're starting to have results, that's why everyone listen Barack Obama, because he has result as a
Yeah.
black person. He has result.
Mhm.
That's not a lot of people. They listen Will Smith or other famous black people because they have results.
Yeah.
If you have the results, it doesn't matter the person you are talking to. He can be white, Chinese,
I agree.
Latino, African. they will sit to listen to you. And this is what you have to looking for. And this is what I'm looking for.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, this is something
I
that,
agree.
yeah, I'm looking for. Because, dude,
Colors doesn't matter when you're focused for sure.
and if,
Like,
yeah,
yeah. And then sometimes you have to understand that like people just because I think that you can learn from something from anybody.
mhm,
So yeah. If if you run into a white guy and you're like, I don't really like him, but he's definitely adding value or
mhm,
he has something that could help me,
yeah.
like, I'm gonna listen to you. And then I agree.
Learn as much as you can and then go away. You don't
Yeah.
need to be there forever. Just be
hmm
intentional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
And I mean, we are almost running out of time, but
Okay.
I have a question about family.
Okay.
Family, I think it's something very important
hmm
because you are here because the men and the women they decide to get together and they
Yeah.
have you.
Okay. Yeah.
But do you and your wife,
hmm
do you guys have like, oh no, I will show who is better. I'm a man, so I'm better than a woman. In our days, a lot of people they are putting like men and women facing each
Against each
other,
other. Yeah.
and this is not God's plan.
hmm
You are different
Yeah.
to your wife, and your wife is different. You have qualities that she doesn't have, and also she has qualities that you don't have,
hmm
and you add in each other life.
Yeah.
So, what do you think, like in our era, and man is trying to, how can I say, facing women or something like that, and women are trying to say they're better than men, and
Man.
vice versa.
I think so. When it comes to that, I guess I'll give an example of me and my
Mm.
wife. We run into that sometimes. I think that's in a relationship. Sometimes it's inevitable,
Okay.
especially going through life. Because there's been times where my wife has made way more money than me.
Mhm.
And I was struggling and trying to figure it out. And, but in that time, she could have been like, hey, I'm making the money, we
Mhm.
gotta, figure. But I think in times where things like that can pop up, you have to learn how to give each other grace and remember that you're not against each other, you're a team. So at the end of the day, really, if I make $1, it's we made $1. If you made 100,000, we made 100,000. And then another thing I'll say is it really goes into, because in the Bible, man, it talks about how, as a man, we're supposed to seek God, and then our wife is kind of like the way we think of it is like the man is the head,
Yeah.
and then the wife is like the neck. You
Mhm.
can't really turn your head without a neck.
Mhm.
So sometimes I might not be on my A game, or there might be places where I fall or I'm not the best I can be, but that's her whole point, is to like support me. Like a neck supports the head. And there's times where sometimes she might have to be more, because it just transitions, man. I feel
Yeah.
like life is all about a journey. So when you're on the journey, it's not always going to be going your way. Like,
Mhm.
and I think that's something that a lot of men we run into. Because when I talk to a lot of my friends, and sometimes their girlfriends might make more money than
Yeah.
them, they're like, man, I don't really like her like that, bro. She making too much money or something, like, and I'm like, nothing's wrong with a woman making more money. Sometimes that's just what she does. She's in a trade that just makes a lot of good money.
Yeah.
You can't be
No,
mad
agree.
at it. But the thing is, like, you can't really be in a relationship with the mindset of like putting down the other person.
Yeah.
Like, y'all kind of have to work together and understand. And it really goes into communication.
Mhm.
Communication, I think, is probably the biggest thing, because, if you are down, voice it to her. Don't try to be Superman and try to
Mhm.
figure it out
Mhm.
and try to, like, that's not the point of the relationship. You might as well just be by yourself. But when you come together, y'all are able to figure it out together. That's one thing that me and my wife are good at, is like, if we run into a hard point, like anything, like I've been laid off before,
Mhm.
and that's like hard, bro, like figuring it out. But like we understood, like, okay, we're not gonna give up on each other. We're gonna keep going. And just because right now I might not have a job for like 2 weeks after I got laid off,
Mhm.
that doesn't mean that you're gonna leave me or anything, or that
Yeah.
I'm less of a man because now you're having to pay
Mhm.
some of the bills. No, I think as long as you keep going,
Mhm.
it'll work out. I
Yeah.
think if you, as a man, if you let it go and you just, you
Yeah.
just kind of relax.
Mm.
Cause I do think that as a man, we are supposed to be leaders
Yeah.
and,
Mm.
very, what's the word? Like consistent, persistent, and really focused on our
Mm.
goals and figuring it out for our families. But I do believe there are times where we fall short, and that's where our wife is able to kind of help us
Yeah.
and doctor us back up. Like, let's say you fall, she gets you
Mm.
back up, doctors you back up, and then
Mm.
she's like, okay, let's go. Where we going?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's kind of how I feel on that one.
Yeah, and you're right. And like and guys, don't misunderstanding when we talk about like man has to be the head. I'm
Mm.
not talking about those bad men or abusive men. That
Yeah,
yeah, you have
yeah,
to be like, yeah, I don't want to put everything in general because sometimes there's someone who is a woman is listening. So my man beat me. So I know,
facts,
but
leave, yeah,
look for
facts,
a solution. Yeah,
yeah.
because no, that's the fact. We have to be real. I
Hmm.
don't want to give advantage to a man because I'm a man.
Yeah,
Because if it were my mom and my father is beating her, I will not say, "Oh, mama, you have to listen to Papa
yeah,
because he's the man." No.
I agree.
So we have to like think in the same way. Our
Mm.
wives,
Yeah.
because I have a girlfriend, and of course, I'm gonna marry her,
Hmm.
but I feel in our relationship, when you talk about communication,
Mm.
there's something that I told her. I told her, like, when I make a mistake, you can tell me, correct me, but how you correct me is
Mm.
gonna make a great impact.
Yeah,
If you can't like raising your voice
it's not
as a
gonna.
man, I will not listen to you. I will like, what dude.
Yeah.
But if you come, I know sometimes you can come angry, but how? Sometimes you can be angry, but you can talk wisely
Yeah. Yeah.
because it's emotion. Sometimes you will not be able to control that.
Hmm.
So, and this is gonna be, I mean, wait, guys, we're gonna have the part two because this guy have a lot of things. I didn't expect that you
Yeah.
have that much thing to talk about.
Yeah.
But the last thing I want to ask you is about God.
Okay. Yeah.
Um, have you ever been like in your relationship where God was not like full present, and
Bro.
how
Yeah,
was
yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah. So I'll say one time, like
Mm,
I told you a story when I got laid off.
yeah.
Man, that was so I guess backstory, I'll try to speed it up. So
Mm,
pretty much I moved to Texas
mm,
and no family out here. I got a crib or like an apartment. I just got a new car, so like I'm paying like 400. This was back when car payments was like $400, which now they're crazy. But I was paying $450 plus my apartment, and I told you I got laid off. I got laid off and no severance, so I had to like kind of figure it out.
mm,
And that was probably to me that was like the hardest part of my life where I felt like God, like why,
okay.
why would you bring me out here? Why would you have me work this job? Why would you have me go all these steps to just leave? And I'll say it took me about 6 months of like really, like I wasn't mad at God. I was still seeking God, but I was just mad at my situation. And I felt like God had like left me in that moment.
Mm,
And it was hard, man. It was a long story. Like, I started to get like stress boils. You ever heard of a stress boil? It's like a boil.
no, I never heard about that.
Look it up, man. It's like when you're super stressed,
Mm.
you get like boils on your body,
Oh,
and like it hurts. Like I had one under my
oh,
armpit.
okay, okay, okay.
I had one under my armpit. I couldn't even sleep, bro. I'm crying, trying to go to sleep. Like I was stressed, bro.
Like because of
I was stressed because
damn.
of the job. It's because, bro, I lost my job. I was trying to make. I had to pay a car. I had to pay an
Yeah.
apartment, and it was like my parents don't have the money to
Mm,
help me or
okay, yeah.
anything. And I didn't have any family out here, so it was like, dang. And then I feel like he came in in the right time. Like I feel
Mhm.
like God in my life actually the way he works is when I want to give up, that's when he saves me.
Okay, hope.
It's always the last moment. It's never like like let's say I made $1 million. I'm
Mm,
like, yes, and God is there obviously. But let's say I lost $1 million and I had $1 left.
mm,
And I'm like, I don't know, man. That's all I got. Like,
mhm.
God, I need your help. He would swoop back in and let's say he just gave me another 1,000. from that dollar. But that's just a money mindset of it. But more just anything, like, even though I was going through all that time where I got laid off, I couldn't pay all this stuff, I never was behind on a payment, you know? So even though I felt like God wasn't there, God was always there. And that's kind of, you know, that's when I felt like he wasn't there, but he was there. Yeah.
That's cool. And
Yeah, bro.
I mean, I've been in a situation, not this kind of situation, but in situation that I wonder, like, why me, God?
Yeah.
And I just understood that bad people, good people, the ones who believe in God and the one that doesn't believe in God, they will always face problem.
Yeah.
But the way how they will solve the problem, the outcome, that's where God gonna be.
Yeah.
So I mean, we are in the world, we're gonna face problem. Don't blame God about the problems that you are facing. Sometimes it's your fault, and sometimes it's not your fault. So if it's your fault, try to get knowledge, learn, and try to be a better man or a better woman.
Yeah.
If it's not your fault, try to learn too, but give everything to God's hands.
Yeah.
And guys, we are in the end of our podcast, and it was great. We're gonna have a second part because this guy has a lot. I didn't expect that he would have that much, and he's a great man. And Steven, if you have a service, if you have something that people can come to you, and it's your time.
Yeah, you guys go ahead, follow me on Instagram. My name is Stephen B, and then there's 3 underscores. I'll be thankful for any, you know, business that you bring my way. I make websites as well on the side and do photography and videography. So reach out if you need any of those services, and I would love to connect with you guys.
Okay, guys, and I mean, guys, go ahead and contact Steven. You're gonna love speaking with him. If you handsome man, so dude, I mean, I'm so sorry for the man. If your girl try to, you know, nothing gonna happen. He has a wife, has a family. He's just trying to taking care of his family. But get Steven.
Yeah.
It's not because he's with me, but he's a great man. He's trying to looking for the best, and of course, he will look to give you the best because we work together too.
Yeah.
And he always try to give the best. And sometimes I don't pay that much money for him to give me what he gave me. So, dude, do your best and try to contact Steven. And guys, thanks very much for your time to watching. I hope that you guys learned something from this podcast. We are not here to badmouth anyone. We are here to share our ideas and bring solution, or try just to talk about what we think about. And guys, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment, and don't forget to give a like, to share to someone that would love to listen this podcast. And of course, we'll learn something from this podcast. So guys, thank you very much. And Steven, thank you very much.
Thank you, man. Thank you, man. Yes, sir.
Hey guys.
Okay.